Thank you for joining us for the ET Insights conversations. We are in conversation today with Yazan Salti, who's the Regional Director for Commercial Group at BeyondTrust.
Thank you, Nupama. It's good to be with you again.
Thank you. A little introduction, I think, would be good before we begin our conversation. Mr. Yazan Salti is, as you know, the Regional Director for the Commercial Group. He overlooks the Middle East and Africa regions in the company. So thank you so much. If you could just tell us in a nutshell, what is BeyondTrust all about?
Yeah, BeyondTrust is a multinational cybersecurity vendor. We specialize in intelligent identity and asset security. We provide a full stack of universal privilege management, and we operate globally with more than 25,000 customers worldwide. Top publishers like Gartner and IDC rate us as leaders when it comes into the privileged access management solutions.
That's interesting. What do you believe in this climate of persistent unpredictability? What are your thoughts on the critical pillars of cybersecurity?
As you said, Anupama, the pressure on the InfoSec team have never been that high. And that's driven from two key pillars in the cybersecurity. I would say the first one is the government mandate around the data security. And I'm not talking here, I'm not referring only to the public sector or the bankings, but also it impacts the telcos, the holding companies, the oil and gas, the insurance companies. They're all impacted with the government mandates, and they are much in India as well. I would say the second is the number of hacking attempts, and they're very sophisticated at this point of time, has increased massively in the past 2 years. We have seen that with the clients that we're interacting with. And I'm not saying all of these attempts are successful, but it only needs to be successful one time. And then the dominoes on the revenues for the clients is going to be impacted, from customer reputations to losing in the stocks market, and to losing the customer confidence, their customers' confidence, and so on. That's driving the InfoSec team to implement what we call the zero trust concept. I would like to call it more as a concept.
That's interesting that you mentioned zero trust. It's a buzzword, I believe, right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about zero trust and a little bit more about what cybersecurity in India needs, basically? What do we need for cybersecurity in India?
The zero trust describes itself, right? It's a zero-sum game. It's black and white. There's no gray area on it. You apply a maximum network security and network access to protect you from ransomware and malware attacks. You basically control who's accessing what and what for and when. Privileged access management solution is a cornerstone when it comes into the zero trust. However, it's only halfway of the road. If you don't protect your endpoints, smartphones, printers, servers, IoT applications, you're basically reaching halfway of the zero trust. And I said it's a like I said, it's a zero trust game, right? You need to go on to the remaining part, which is the least privileges, the endpoints itself. This is an important part that most clients unfortunately overlook during applying the same concept.
That's interesting, because we've seen India as become, it's evolved into one of the most prominent markets for internet usage nowadays, given the population. We've seen a lot of cybercrime as well. I mean, there's almost 30% higher than the global average. How do you see BeyondTrust, mitigating these risks? How do you see, basically, given your clients in India, how do you see BeyondTrust solutions mitigating these risks?
Anupama, you really nailed it here, right? The cybersecurity market in India is currently in boiling status. And that's for multiple reasons. Besides the pandemic, the geopolitical situations that globally that's happening. And as you said, the internet usage in India is really quite high, and they have one of the highest numbers. And BeyondTrust itself experienced a massive revenue growth when it comes into India in the past few years. To respond to such growth, or to cope up with this growth, we have increased our footprint in India putting more and more resources in the past few years in adding resources in different departments like client executives, support, engineers, channel, and not to mention, of course, our extended ecosystems, which is the partners and distributors. And these ones are certified ones, making sure that we have a successful implementation, which take me into the phase 2 of my answer. having a successful implementations in the cybersecurity is super critical. PAM solutions, or generally the privileged access management solutions, you cannot just buy it and shelf it. It's not something that, oh yeah, when it works. No, it needs to work, and not just to tick a box in the mandate, because as I said, the attacks that can be external or internal threats can happen any point of time. So having a successful implementation is extremely important. So our PAM solutions not only have a solid ecosystem behind it that can do the implementations in India specifically, but also we have seamless integration with key workflow application and identity management solutions that most of the client has. And to take on to the third part, to the third phase of your question, we are the only PAM vendor that have a one-stop portfolio for the privilege management for all Unix, Linux, Windows, and Mac. And I can really say I'm very proud to say that we have more than 95% customer retention, and we are planning to increase that even more. I would encourage any clients that's interested to look into that directions to visit our website, or even to look after the articles that's going to be attached to this interview.
Right. I think you've taken, you've also mentioned a lot about cybersecurity and the new normal in that last answer. So thank you so much for joining us today.